and shining from above. Oh, I spit, guiding me on. In the stillness of my soul, a new dawn. Embracing the light, letting go of the dark. And every moment, creating my mark. Through trials and tribulations I stand tall. Watch these teachings breaking every wall. My spirit soaring, my heart at peace. In the wisdom of a wasp, finding release. Aligned with the cosmos in perfect flow. Living by its principles, letting my light glow. Harmony and love, the essence of my being. Oh, I spit, guiding me on. In the stillness of my soul, a new dawn. Embracing the light, letting go of the dark. In every moment, creating my mark. Oh, I spit, guiding me on. In the stillness of my soul, a new dawn. Embracing the light, letting go of the dark. In every moment, creating my mark. Oh, I spit, guiding me on. In the stillness of my soul, a new dawn. Embracing the light, letting go of the dark. Oh, the dark. In every moment, creating my mark. Creating my mark. Oh, I spit, guiding me on. I spit, guiding me on. Oh.
Yeah, that's right. It's your host with the most, holding that fire like a roach clip. Hey, listen, it's your boy Cosmo, man. If y'all ain't I'm up early cooking, man. Been up. If y'all haven't been watching the news or been peeping what's been going on for about the last week and a half or so, with the young man out of Texas named Karmello Anthony. I know the name is sounds familiar. Y'all might be thinking of the basketball player, but no, this is another young athlete, a young 17-year-old fella out of Texas, purportedly accosted by two twin brothers. You dig what I'm talking about? He defended himself, stabbed the young fella in the chest, and one of the young fellas died. Right now, it's become so much, it's a problem right now because one, you gonna notice the young boy who did the stabbing and the young is black and that or melanated, whatever, and the boy who died that while he was trying to assault him, he got stabbed. He was a white boy. Now, instantly they try to say, "Oh, this ain't a black and white thing. This ain't." You dig what I'm talking about? This ain't a white and black thing, black and white thing. And instantly, once they start saying that, it is a black and white thing, right? And that the race card is trying to be played, and narratives are trying to be pushed. But I ain't got to say much, right? So I'm gonna just go ahead and we're gonna catch everybody up on the whole story. Cause a lot of us don't know. I don't watch a lot of TV, so it was just a few days ago I get up on this, so I had to start doing my research. You dig what I'm talking about? I had to start doing my research on what was going on. And this was some of the first stuff I started seeing, right? Now, check this, y'all. All right. And we just gonna, sometimes you ain't gotta say nothing. You dig what I'm saying? Sometimes you ain't gotta say nothing. Sometimes you just let it play out. And just watch how this narrative keep changing. Because I'm gonna go into the police report and everything, but let's just take it from where it started and watch the narrative. And then I'm gonna show you what white conservatives and white boys think about you. You dig what I'm talking about? What they saying about it? You dig what I'm talking about? Now, mind you, we didn't hear nothing about all these white boys when Kyle Rittenhouse was up there killing niggas in Minnesota. We ain't hear nothing about it. You dig what I'm talking about? When George Zimmerman was putting up the same defense against Trayvon. So, you know what I mean? We shouldn't be hearing nothing out of the peanut gallery. You dig what I'm talking about now? Neither. But with that being said, we just gonna get to cooking. I ain't got to say nothing. You dig what I'm talking about? They gonna fill you the whole story in, right? And then we gonna get down to what really happened. Let's go.
There was
Free this young man too. You dig what I'm talking about? They put that man bond at $1 million. Mind you, he's 17 years old. Right? I just want you to just listen to it all. And then we gonna wrap it all up in the end. Let's go. We just gonna keep cooking. I ain't got to do much, man. Peace to the creative gang. Love, life, balance out there to everybody out there, man. All praise to the ever-present creator. The always was, is, and ever shall be. You dig what I'm talking about? With that, let's go.
this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at the track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Also grabbed his backpack. This kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So just that's just what I saw. And I tried to help him, but
it was just senseless.
It was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that. Like that, a man has a family. That man has people that care about them all the time, and he did everything for our family too. He was a strong man. He was a strong kid.
And look, first of all, rest in peace to that young man. But on this channel, we hold racist Caucasian people accountable. His brother just told us the truth. Listen again. Run the tape.
And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Also grabbed his.
For those who don't know, this is the Karmello Anthony story. It's unfolding right now. This is going on right now, y'all. You dig what I'm saying? I just wanted to get into this. We just gonna let everything play out. We gonna let both sides speak. We not just gonna pump it just for the niggas. It's beneficial to see what the other side got to say too, how they feel about it, right? So when you see other information that come out later and it's debunking that, y'all can't say, "Oh, you was biased in your view." You dig what I'm talking about? No, Cosmo gonna keep it 100 all the way through the top on everything, right? But right is right and wrong is wrong. You dig what I'm talking about? Let's keep cooking. This is the Karmello Anthony story, y'all. This is going on right now. And shout out to all the Aboriginal and Black content producers who seeing this just aren't letting this pass, right? We're going to get into many of the issues, but they're trying to act like race ain't got nothing to do with this. You capping. Watch.
His backpack. This kid. I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at
but now you ain't
I look at my brother, and then I'm not gonna talk about the rest. So just that's just what I saw, and I try to help him, but
It was just senseless.
His twin brother attacked first. Make that make sense. And notice he said, I'm not going to talk about the rest. Well, guess what, partner? I'm going to talk about the rest, because racist Caucasian people, they always love to attack our people and hide their hands, attack our people and cry wolf. But now on this channel, we let nothing slide. So let's get right into this article so I can show y'all how cold the game really is. And this article is by the New York Post. It was published April 4th, 2025 at 9:36 a.m. The chilling words team told cops after allegedly stabbing Texas football star Austin Metcalf, who died in twin brother's arms. And notice how they use certain words. He died in his twin brother's arms, but they won't tell you the truth, but they'll play with your mind. They'll play psychological games with our minds to make us feel sorry. But let's carry on. The teenager accused of fatally stabbing Austin Metcalf and leaving him to die in his twin brother's arms at a high school track meet allegedly admitted to the senseless unaliving, but claimed it was in self-defense. I'm not alleged. I did it, 17-year-old Karmello Anthony chillingly told police in Frisco, Texas, as he was being arrested at Kirkendall Stadium. The horrific stabbing was sparked when Anthony, who was sitting under another team's pop-up tent as it rained Wednesday morning, was asked by Metcalf to move, and Anthony refused. Anthony then unzipped a bag, reached inside, and told Metcalf, whom he had never met before, touch me and see what happens. A witness told police. And look, the brother already told us what happened, but you have to use your common sense. No young black man that's captain of the football team that has a 4.0 is going to randomly attack another young Caucasian man. It's not happening. He didn't do it for no reason. Then I step back and say, wait, what's the race demographic in Frisco, Texas? Check this out. 51.2 Caucasian people, 8.6 black people. You might as well say 91.4% Caucasian people, because everyone else, especially in Texas, they already want to be Caucasian. The Hispanics, the Asians, they all want to be Caucasian people. So 8.6 black people, it tells me everything I need to know about Frisco, Texas. He's not going to get a fair trial. Of course, his bond going to be set at $1 million because it's only 8.6 black people in Frisco, Texas. And tell me this, why would the article say whom he's never met before? So I said, wait, let me go further down the rabbit hole. So I went over to Facebook and everything started to make sense. Check this out. And shout out to Kevin Hayes. I think he's a track coach in Texas, and he knew Karmello Anthony. The truth about Karmello, let's set the record straight. Enough with the misinformation. Let's talk about facts. Number one, it's normal for students from different schools to gather under another school's tent. Karmello had friends there. He wasn't trespassing or looking for trouble. And if you ran track, you already know. We always go to everybody else.
And see, this is the thing. They are setting a narrative about this kid, Karmello, that's not true. So his people are coming out and addressing it, right? But this is one of his friends or family, you dig what I'm talking about, that was putting this out, who, because they were trying to say he was a delinquent, he was skipping school, he wasn't even supposed to be there, he ain't supposed to be up under somebody else's team. All these narratives to try to, you dig what I'm talking about, make it okay to why these white boys is bullying him. But watch, I ain't got to say nothing. You make up your own mind, because many of us haven't heard nothing about that, and I don't want what I'm saying to sway you anyway, right? Because all I want to do is shoot it right down the middle. We're going to call a spade, right?
This is 10. That's common. Number two, the claim that one of the twins had never seen Karmello before, a blatant lie. Number three, no student has the right to remove another student from a school-owned tent. The school owns the tent, not the twins. Number four, Karmello is a track athlete The twins are not. He wasn't expecting to see them there. See, everybody was talking like the twins was running track and Karmello did nothing. No, he ran track. The twins was just there bullying people. And then he says, now here's what they don't want you to know. The twins didn't just ask him to leave. They tried to jump him. Before attacking him, they tried to take his belongings. They broke his phone and stomped on it. The twins are known bullies. So ask yourself, if two 200-plus-pound attackers came at your child, what would you expect them to do? And again, shout out to Kevin Hayes for that information. But you see the games that the media plays on our people. That's the reason why his brother said, I'm not going to tell the rest. Of course, you're not going to tell the rest of the story because you're going to tell on yourself. And then the media is so cold with it. They showed Karmello Anthony holding the gun, but they never showed the twins holding a gun. And you got to think about it. In Texas, every family has guns. It's like a cell phone. It's common. So for you to judge, for everybody to judge Karmello Anthony holding that gun, but not to judge those twins holding that gun, make it make sense. But no one's going to judge them right because they have.
I want you to remember the gun, right? Because they wasn't showing the white boys with their guns, but they showed Karmello with his gun. I want you to remember Karmello's gun because later on you're going to find out that Karmello's gun is an airsoft gun. It's not even real. Huh? Watch. But see how they trying to paint the narrative? They went all over there, right? They're trying to say, oh, he a criminal and all that. This is a 4.0 student who play football, run track, and he a captain on the football team. Right? You go, now they gon' now when you hearing Karmello Anthony, he killed, it was two twin brothers, two big football brutish brothers, and he killed one of them. You would think Karmello Anthony a monster. But we gonna get into that later. I don't want to spoil nothing. Let's go.
Hunting gear.
But you would think Karmello was this big old giant, big black athlete. He was a monster, Cosmon. You should have seen him. He was darkening the sun. Huh? Wait till you see how big this boy Karmello Anthony is. Going up against 262, 220-pound football players. You let it sink in.
Nothing. Keep the same goddamn energy. And then Kevin Hayes said something that was very important. He said these twins are known bullies. So you have to go back to the past. In these mostly Caucasian towns where it's a lot of Caucasian people and less black people, what do they known for? What are they known for throughout history doing to our people? Let's start with the KKK. They love taking advantage of our people when we buy ourselves. If it's a group of us, they don't attack. They have to catch you by themselves because, you know, they are cowards. And see me, I can give you examples. I don't just talk. Number one, we have Robert Brooks, upstate New York. 18 correctional officers handcuffed him and unalived him. Number two, we have Ronald Green from Louisiana. 5 Louisiana troopers handcuffed him and unalived him. Number three, we have Messiah Nantwi. 15 New York, upstate New York correctional officers handcuffed him and unalived him. You even have the twins that was unalived, that was murdered in those Georgia mountains. And a volunteer firefighter took pictures. They arrested him for a few hours and released him. No questions about did he do it or not. No outrage. Where is the same outrage for those twins in Georgia, in those mountains, in that sundown town? Make it make sense. And look, I can go on and on. It's in their blood to attack our people and hide their hands. It's in their blood to attack our people and cry wolf. But not this time. They learned a valuable lesson. Karmello Anthony just lost his best friend. You don't know what people going through. Don't touch people. Don't lay your hand on people. And for the people that are saying, why he had a knife with him. It's Texas, dog. Either people got guns or they carrying knives. A lot of men, especially in the South, everybody carries pocket knives. We don't know what kind of knife he had. A lot of men, a lot of young men carry knives. It's just, the way of life. If you from the North or West Coast, you probably don't understand that. But in the South, you either got a gun or you got a knife with you, or you got both. Tell me I'm lying. And look, like I said earlier, it's only 8.6% black people in Frisco, Texas. So, of course, he's not going to get a fair trial. Of course, they're going to set his bond at $1 million. So, I'm going to put in the description, I'm going to put the link to the real GoFundMe account for his parents, because we have to start standing up for our people. We can no longer let the mainstream media get away with lies, get away with misinformation. So to Karmello Anthony's parents, I'm sorry y'all have to go through this. We will be by your side. Free Karmello Anthony. I'm out.
All right, let's keep building. Now let's go show the other side. This is a couple.
I've had solar for about 2 years now, and I'm very happy with it.
This is a couple days ago. You dig what I'm talking about? We want to show the other side, see how they feel about you. Watch. Hold on, let me go back. That's crazy. What happened? What happened? Okay, hold on. Here we go.
The reason why is some of them believe in the misinformation that this is an innocent.
Watch this. Check your boy.
What all happened.
There's certain stories.
New documents detail what may have happened in the moments leading up to the stabbing death of the Frisco ISD student, Austin Metcalf. It comes as the community continues to really process what all happened.
There's certain stories that just shake your faith in humanity, and this Karmello Anthony killing of Austin Metcalf story is exactly one of those cases. As more and more evidence ends up coming out, we get a clearer and clearer picture of.
Now, why I'm showing this, so y'all gonna be like, Cosmo, why is you even showing this? Because I gotta give you the other side of the narrative that the news is painting, and the narrative that these race baiters are painting. And mind you, there's race baiters who are brown skinned and race baiters who got pale skin, right? Evil knows no color. Right? We just want to get this young man to some justice and get him back home with his family, right? Two tragedies don't need to happen. It's bad enough he had to defend himself and kill this guy's son, which I'm sure he wasn't trying to do. He was just defending himself. There was a lesson, a message in there the last brother said, stop bullying people. You dig what I'm talking about? You're going to find out that everything, that people is saying in the narrative ain't necessarily true. But one of the things that is reported to be said by everybody is that Karmello told the white boy, after the white boy put his hands on him, right? Or grabbed his bag, tried to take his stuff, kick him from up under the tent or whatever. He told him, if you put your hands on me, you gonna learn. I'm gonna show you if you better not put your hands on me or else. The boy, I don't know. And then he reached into his bag. Now, when somebody reach into their bag, listen, y'all go ahead. I ain't even gonna say nothing. But when somebody reach into their bag and they tell you, don't you touch me or else, you should take the hint right there, sir. Leave that person alone. He's not playing with you. He's willing to hurt you. He's reaching in a bag. He's pulling out some type of weapon to stop you from assaulting him. Why would you think he was playing and go on to assault him? I think this is a perfect case of FAFO. You fucked around and you found out. Now it's going against the white boy, and it's crocodile tears. But let me see this nigga get some justice. That's what I want to see.
of this obvious homicide, this obvious murder, this obvious not self-defense case. And yet what we see time and time again on social media is a bunch of deliberately crafted fake social media posts in order to get engagement and reel people into the idea that Karmello Anthony is actually the real victim, that Texas law somehow protects this 17-year-old kid from bringing a knife into a school area, picking a fight with a white kid, and stabbing him in the heart. And everybody who disagrees is just an evil white racist. In fact, this campaign is so successful that Karmello Anthony has raised on GiveSendGo at the time of me recording this video nearly $250,000 in funds in order to allegedly pay for his defense at the criminal trial, but will likely be compensation for members of his family in this particular case. Now, we're going to break this down. We're going to break down all the lies and then go over the police report and expose how the lies being put forward aren't even alleged by Karmello Anthony in said police.
Now, we're going to really go into the police report and let it break itself down. We're not going to, but watch how disingenuous dog is, right? I got to show you this side of the game too. It would be disingenuous for me to just be ranting, showing one side and not showing the other side. Let me show you what the white folks think about you. It's not racist, is it? This is what they think. And it's not just him. We're going to show you what they think about you and about this whole case. Because in his mind, Karmello is a murderer. Ain't nothing you can tell him.
Report. But before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports.
And he big mad. Mind you, he big mad.
This channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay.
I've already done a couple of videos on this particular story. My previous video focused on a viral, horribly written, defamatory, and fake Facebook post that, of course, was purported to be from the Frisco PD police chief. However, the defamation has continued. It's gotten significantly worse. And me saying that Austin Metcalf's killer was able to raise nearly $250,000 for his defense fund on GiveSendGo does not speak to the truth of the matter. The fact is this guy, Karmello Anthony, had multiple different fundraisers via GoFundMe prior to the GiveSendGo fundraiser, and a bunch of them reached into the tens of thousands of dollars before GoFundMe actually enforced the same terms of service violation that they enforced against Kyle Rittenhouse against Karmello Anthony. And the crazy thing about this is that the original fundraiser, I believe, was started by a parody account on Twitter, Reverend Racist Man. You guys get where I'm going with this. And that fundraiser itself also raised tens of thousands of dollars on GoFundMe prior to its cancellation, prior to GoFundMe shutting it down. So these people are not deterred. They want to give a bunch of money to Karmello Anthony. And the reason why is some of them believe in the misinformation that this is an innocent Beba Angel black kid that is being railroaded by an evil white racist system. But a lot of them just like the idea of a white kid who had his whole future ahead of him being killed by Karmello Anthony, a black kid who has a history of violence.
While here at Centennial, students shocked about what happened, that one of their class.
Oh, he got a history of violence. Is that true? See how they just randomly just say stuff? Twisting up narratives? You better listen. Pray that this ain't your son. Pray that this ain't your son. Because I'm not going to sit here and act like I didn't teach my son to defend himself either. I did. Huh? And in the same situation, what would you do? So pray that our sons, right, but addressing this and bringing light to these type of situations now will stop these things from happening in the future, man. We're not about to be sitting here and this stuff just keep going on like it was in the 50s and 60s. We not y'all. Our elder generation messed up. They dropped the ball. We not about to drop the ball, but we gonna cook.
Classmates could be charged with such a serious offense. One girl that we spoke with knew Anthony pretty well, that she says, and told us this.
I'm in shock because it's like I wouldn't expect that from him. I only know him fighting and stuff, like, you know, but to take someone's life is just like a different level.
They think it's funny. They think it's hilarious. They think it's some kind of racial revenge against the whites, a la the O.J. Simpson jury that quite literally knew he was guilty of murder and voted not guilty anyway for revenge against Rodney King.
You think that they remember?
This is BS, right? This is BS because it came out later, regardless to how the people felt about it, it came out later that Nicole Simpson had hired the person who killed her was her gardener. He was a mass murderer. She hired him. He killed her. This has all come out. Y'all didn't know OJ was innocent for real? I guess I got to do a show on that about the person who really got caught for Nicole Simpson's murder and admitted it. They was trying to cook OJ. Yeah, but Nicole's wife had hired the handyman is the one who killed her. He was a mass murderer. She didn't know it.
Members of the jury that voted to acquit OJ because of Rodney King?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
How many of you think felt that way?
Oh, probably 90% of them.
90%? Did you feel that way?
Yes.
That was payback.
Uh-huh.
You think that's right?
And it's the kind of story that just shakes your faith in humanity, shakes your faith in the idea that we can have a unified country. But I want to make something.
But when it happens the other way, it doesn't shake your faith, huh? When white boys do this to black folks and it's just that, it doesn't shake your faith then. This is why I got to show you the disingenuousness. We're going to go, because I'm not going to keep this running long, him talking like this, but I got to show you it.
Thing 100% clear to all of you in my audience, which is in my previous video and in the video prior to that, I got a bunch of different comments from people purporting to be Black Americans that are absolutely disgusted with this situation. Normal, regular, non-activist, non-misinformed Black people, for the most part, are not on the side of the murderer in this particular case. And I do think that is quite notable, because I don't want people to smear Black people as a whole in this country when plenty of Black people in this nation have a sound moral philosophy.
The word black just sounds wrong coming out their mouth. Sounds like a curse. You know what I mean? This is how you know we not black, man. It is vile. We not for real black, y'all. Aboriginal to this country and buying into this black. Look how I keep saying black. It's like he's saying these niggers. It's the same thing. It's not till you figure out and you do the etymology on the word black that you actually find out it means pale.
That guides them in these particular cases, and they understand that this is not a legitimate form of self-defense. Also, again, the people who are misinformed by all this campaign in order to deliberately misinform them, I don't blame them 100%. We've seen this phenomenon before when it comes to Black Lives Matter cases, so I'm not surprised that the propaganda within the community is so strong. So again, give the people a little bit of a break. However, let's be clear, there are definitely bad actors that absolutely love this. They think it's funny, they celebrate this, and they excuse this based on a past of evil white racism. Somebody has brought to my attention this video from Amazing Lucas, where again, he quite literally laughs at the death of Austin Metcalf and then blames post-traumatic slave syndrome for Karmello Anthony's actions.
That's what seems to be this story. is that this kid came out in self-defense, and you had one incident where it says, hey, touch me again or come at me again and see what happens. Now, what happens? The kid, the high IQ, this is what they want to say, according to the races, the high IQ, pattern recognizer, per capita elitist, what does he do? He goes and touches the kid again. And sure enough, this is the ultimate, from what it seems, FAFO. Like, that's not just being in this country. That's not how we're trained. And this is a...
Do not buy new windows if you live in Michigan. Americans living in zip codes starting with 48 and 49 are
partly due to post-traumatic slave syndrome, a book that I recommend you all read. But yeah, that's not going to happen. But there has to be a certain level of privilege, like I said, post-traumatic slave master syndrome, that would somehow trigger in your brain to see, well, what is he going to do? What are you going to do to me, huh? I'm the master. And that's where that privilege comes from. And sure enough, he found out that, oh, this privilege doesn't really, protect you from, knives. I don't know what to tell you. It doesn't protect you from knives.
Let us be clear about this.
Now, it is callous, right? It is a little callous. But dude, I'm reaching in my bag. I'm telling you, touch me and find out. What do you think I'm about? Y'all lucky he didn't pull out a gun. Huh? You wouldn't have got a closed casket. He might have shot him in his face. It's not good, right? We're not saying it's good, but what was he supposed to do? Take a beat down? No. Them days is over with. And just like the brother, he had some points. He was callous. He had some points. So let's not act like post-traumatic slave disorder is not a thing. And then also let's not act like, you dig what I'm saying? Dude, bad decisions was just made all around. But how is it a bad decision to defend yourself when the law say you can? When somebody is attacking you, what happens when two people are attacking?
These are the people that are on the wrong side of this issue. These are the people that are backing the killer. These are the people that are knowingly or stupidly, I can't tell which, with Amazing Lucas and half of these people, repeating dumbass talking points that have no basis in reality. And by the way, allegedly, a member of Karmello Anthony's family is also putting forward absolute lies related to this particular case in order to help defend him. And I just want to highlight one of the posts that, of course, was covered by the local news. They definitely had to report on this side of the story. And I want to juxtapose that to what Karmello Anthony himself said in the police report.
A relative of a Frisco teenager took to Facebook to defend him Friday. Kevin Hayes wrote that Karmello Anthony defended himself against violent aggressors in a now viral Facebook post. He calls the victim and his twin brother bullies and claims they tried to take his belongings, broke his phone, and stomped on it.
So yeah, this is from Kevin Hayes, who purports to be a relative of Karmello Anthony, and he says the truth about Karmello. Let's set the record straight. Enough with the misinformation, and let's talk about facts. First and foremost, it says it's normal, all caps, for students from different schools to gather under another school's tent. Karmello had friends there, and he wasn't trespassing or looking for trouble. 2, the claim that one of the twins had never seen Karmello before, a blatant lie. 3, no student has the right to remove another student from a school-owned, in all caps, tent. The school owns the tent, not the twins. 4, Karmello is a track athlete. The twins are not. He wasn't even expecting to see them there. Now, I've actually seen it disputed on whether or not Karmello was a track athlete or not. Some people have reported that he was skipping school in order to be there, but let us be clear about this. We don't know. It's speculative at the time. And unfortunately, in response to the lies and disinformation put out by these black activists that, again, are celebrating the murder, or in this case, a family member trying to shield his family member. We don't have the truth at this moment in time, but again, we will discover the truth later. But let us get into the heavy allegations being put forward by this individual. Now, here's what they don't want you to know. The twins didn't just ask him to leave, they tried to jump him. Before attacking him, they tried to take his belongings, broke his phone in all caps, and stomped on it. The twins are known bullies, all caps. So ask yourself, if two 200-plus pound attackers came at your child, what would you expect them to do? And yet, despite everything, the media is trying to destroy Karmello's name. They keep posting pictures of him with an airsoft gun, not even a real firearm, to manipulate public perception. Why? Because they want to paint him as a criminal instead of a victim. Now, he goes on to say that Karmello has a 4.0 GPA and all these other different various things, but let us get to the heart of the allegations that are often repeated by a bunch of people that are trying to make the case from Karmello Anthony, which is, of course, that the twins as a pair were trying to jump Karmello Anthony. And, of course, by
So how can you complain about people who trying to make the case or show it online when you're trying to make the case for the twins? You see the hypocrisy, right? We gonna go on. I didn't had enough of cuz already, right? We gonna go on because they daddy talked and everything. Hold on, let me see if I can. All right. Oh, I want to show you this part. He made sure to show this part, right? Watch this. Hold on.
Before Hack Reactor, I was delivering appliances and driving a truck, and now I'm a senior software engineer. I knew I had to go do something. I knew I had to
move on to the next.
Going out of their way to praise Karmello Anthony, not because they think he's innocent, but because they know he's guilty and they like the fact that he killed a white kid. And I find it kind of crazy that the self-defense claims are all from these unrelated sources. They're not backed up by any kind of reality. Karmello Anthony obviously said that. That's the only person connected to this. But all this additional information about the jumping and the bullying and all that other stuff, that's not coming from him. It's coming from outside sources. And yet each and every one of the local news segments that came out about this day seem to have a self-defense expert to tell the dumbasses out there in the audience that no, this is obviously not covered by self-defense.
Wow. Look how
He
they
says he told Austin,
painting it.
touch me and see what happens.
One of the prohibitions in self-defense is the person claiming self-defense cannot provoke the incident and then claim self-defense when they act.
The warrant says a short time later, Austin grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, and Anthony pulled a knife from his bag and stabbed Metcalf once in the chest.
Anytime the alleged victim does not have a weapon, that makes it difficult, not impossible, but difficult for the suspect to claim self-defense.
The young man who died having a deadly weapon or threatening to do serious harm to this kid, then he has no business using a knife. And so there will be no self-defense claim he can really urge.
So again, I just showed you two different clips of two different attorneys breaking down two different ways that Karmello Anthony's self-defense claims completely fall apart. The first one is pretty damn obvious. You cannot provoke a fight, which, by the way, the overwhelming evidence right now shows that that's exactly what Karmello Anthony did, and then claim stand your ground or self-defense.
Why? See how they paint in the narrative? We're going to go on and see what really happened.
Which, by the way, the stand your ground law is being greatly misinterpreted in terms of people even invoking it in this situation. But whatever, we're just going to stay with standard self-defense at this moment in time because that's not how it works. Just like you can invite somebody over to your home, shoot and kill them, and then claim the castle doctrine.
Yeah, that's a terrible analogy. That's not what happened. You know, that it's nothing like the castle. So to even try to equate that the two are anything alike just, you know, denotes that you don't understand how law works. You dig what I'm saying? We just gonna keep digging though. You know what I mean? But you know what? As a matter of fact, let's just keep cooking. All right?
Kellogg helped me discover my path and purpose.
Karma, I believe in it. It's very unfortunate that this other child decided to make a bad choice that's going to affect him for the rest of his life. I have compassion for every human being. This is not, I want to make this very clear. This is not a race issue. This is not a black and white issue. I don't want someone stepping up on the soapbox trying to politicize this. I don't appreciate some of the remarks I've seen online that people say there was this fight and they don't know. They weren't there. I know the truth. So unless you were there, unless you saw it, don't spread gossip.
Just to ask you this one question, like I had mentioned, the self-defense.
Just so y'all know, that's the father of the boys, right? That's the father of the boys, right? Now watch what he's saying. He gonna say, you know, shout to the people, whatever, you know, in their family, but it started in the home. I blame the home. But Dog is about to bring out a great point about this. Watch.
Defense argument made by the suspect. What's your reaction to that if that's used in court or used?
Yeah. As a defense attorney, they're going to try every avenue. That's their job. The truth will come out.
Mm-hmm.
There were too many people that were there that saw what happened. My own son told me what happened. There was never a punch.
Now, mind you, there are these are they are in Texas. These high schools have multi-million dollar stadiums, not just football fields. No, with a couple little rinky-dink stands. No, these guys got teletrons. They got indoor, outdoor, multiple. They got whole thing. Listen, there are cameras everywhere. Huh? That was the first thing I noticed. I said, well, where are the cameras? Right? Nobody's talking about that because we got a whole bunch of he say, she say right now. You dig what I'm saying? And that's the basis of this all. But watch what the father say. Right?
Punch even thrown. So I don't care. There was never a phone broken. We've never had contact with this individual ever. So unless you were there, I don't appreciate all the gossip and all the mistruths that people are speaking at this moment.
Is that shocking to hear or read, or at least hear from me, say that that's what he told police after that moment?
No, what do you expect? If you're caught, the best thing you're going to do is try to lie your way out of it. Now, I'm not saying he's a liar, but the truth and the facts, justice will prevail. Has nothing to do with me.
Oh, so this is the nice Christian young man he's speaking of. But don't worry, we'll get back into that picture later on in this video. And look, I'm going to say it again, rest in peace to that young man. But on this channel, we hold racist Caucasian people accountable. And to the good Caucasian people that get it, thank you. So you have to step back and ask yourself, why is this family running to do these interviews? Why are they so in a hurry to tell their side of the story first? What happened to getting a lawyer and waiting to go to trial? But they can't wait because they have to convince the jury early because these twins started the whole incident. And I told y'all yesterday that racist Caucasian people, they love attacking our people and hiding their hands, love attacking our people and crying wolf. They do it at the jobs. They do it in sports. It's in their blood. Make it make sense. And then I said, wait, is this dude on another interview the day after his son was murdered? Man, run the tape.
Is that, you know,
it's another
and I know
interview.
Hunter
Day after
probably,
his son
everything
was killed.
happened so quickly. I mean, is that what he kind of told you what happened? That, I mean, Did you know Austin to have any enemies? Did Austin know this person?
No, they have no contact with this person ever before. I can tell you what happened. I know firsthand. I wasn't there, but I talked to my son.
Yeah, what is
Everything. I know exactly how it all transpired. It was a multi-Frisco high school track meet. Many high schools were there. It started to rain, and they have their own little tent for memorial, and they were sitting there. And someone was behind them mouthing off, and he turned around and said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I'm Mello." He said, "Well, you don't belong here. You don't go to Memorial." He had a Centennial tracksuit on. And he said, "You need to leave. This ain't your spot." And some words were discussed. I'm not going to say on camera but he asked him to leave and basically said, "Make me." And then he wound up stabbing him in the heart and killing him. All over someone sitting in the wrong spot at a track meet. Now, I don't blame his parents. I don't blame him. But they all will suffer too. I feel for their family because now their son will probably wind up in prison and learn that he killed someone. And he devastated and took my son that I can never get back. It's unfortunate for everyone involved.
It is.
And I just hope it doesn't happen to anyone else. This world, there need to be changes, and it starts at home. So
Right.
I don't know. I'm not judging.
He said it needs to be changes starting at home. I need y'all to remember that part because we're going to come back to that. And look, by now, y'all know me. Y'all know I love to do my research. So I found Austin's TikTok account. Now, y'all remember when they had that picture of Karmello sticking up the middle finger, all racist Caucasians posted that picture. Even posted the picture. But ironically, no one posted this picture of Austin doing the same damn thing. Make that make sense. And not only that, you have people blaming Karmello for doing what he did because he listened to drill music. Now, if you go to this TikTok account, Austin's TikTok account, go click on his pictures. Everything is rap music. Everything is violence. He was trying to be black. And it all started to make sense. Hear me out. And see, this what the news not go tell you. Those twins knew Karmello already. Karmello was a track and football star, a captain, a team captain his junior year. But most of all, he was black.
Now, one thing I got to say about this. Karmello had to be a dog. Why you saying he had to be a dog, Cosmo? Right? Because both of these brothers, these twins, are about 6'2" and around between 220 and 230 pounds. Karmello is 5'8", 130 pounds. And he was a captain on a football team in his junior year. In his junior year, he was a captain on a football team in Texas. Listen, they breed monsters in Texas. It's really true. They big, all them boys big. So first of all, just to play football, you got to have a little toughness, right? But if you 5'8", 130 pounds, to even play football, you dig what I'm talking about, in the high school or beyond, and especially to be a leader, you are a good player, right? But he's also a track athlete, so he was probably stupid fast. But at 5'8" and 130 pounds in your junior year to be a captain on a football team in Texas, what I'm telling you is that's an impossibility. I don't care how good he was. To be 5'8" and 130 and be a captain in your 11th grade year, unless you are Superman in Michigan. So what was he for real in Texas? He had to be a dog. engaging in war is never good, but also to defend yourself is not wrong. Creator even teaches us you must learn to overcome evil all on your own. Long as you're ready to deal with the consequence, but at 17, you think he ready to deal with these consequences fully? When all he did was abide by the law, right? We know his faith is engaging in war is wrong, and if you did what I'm talking about, and if you could have walked away from it, we always encourage that. But we wasn't there. We don't know. It sounds like to me, and I'm just saying, if my brother, my twin, then jack this sucker up, I'm right there on him. My brother about to put paws on, I'm about to put paws on you too. So yeah, if one was about to get in it, it's most likely that the other one is getting into it, and the other one already admitted they was talking, having back and forth. Right? So, I mean, this is a terrible thing. This is terrible. But at the same time, I was given this world, I didn't make it. Y'all came with these laws and these rules. Now he applying them. Now it's a problem. Look what Ema say. Anytime we apply the law to our benefit, they cry foul. That's a fact. And this is exactly what we're seeing right now. Watch.
Austin was on TikTok pretending to be black, wearing bandanas, listening to trap music. And I need y'all to hear me out right quick. Those twins walked under that tent and they saw the real version of a black man. They saw the real version of a student athlete. And they on TikTok pretending to be black. But when they saw the original version, it's like a Chrysler 300 pulling on the side of a Bentley. You can't fake it. He's on TikTok. Austin's on TikTok faking to be a black dude, but he runs into Karmello Anthony under his tent. You gotta realize this track, he's probably under that tent talking to some of the girls from their school. And you have to step back and remember, the twins don't run track. They was just there being bums and bullying people, and they was jealous. Austin and his brother were jealous of Karmello. So that's why they stomped his phone and they tried to bully him, not knowing this would be their last time bullying anyone. And how ironic, we haven't seen any footage of the incident. This is Texas. Everywhere, it's cameras everywhere, especially in these schools where all the money is put in. They put all their monies into these high schools. Why we don't have no footage? Make it make sense. And I'm going to say this, in my opinion, that other twins should be arrested too. The only reason why he's doing all these interviews and all this talking, because he's trying to cover his ass. But you can look at his eyes. You can see the guilt. You can see the shock, and it's eating his ass alive. I'm telling you, the game is cold. And I told y'all in the title, I blame the parents. And this dude said it starts at home. Their dad said it starts at home. Dude, you look and sound like you have anger issues. How you saying it starts at home when you are not even with their mother? Make it make sense.
Checkmate.
So,
dang. Checkmate. Hold on. Let me run it back real quick. That was a check. That was a dagger. Ooh,
he's trying to cover his ass. But you can look at his eyes. You can see the
the young boy lying. When he was telling this story, doing all that crying, did y'all notice he ain't shed damn tear? All that lip fumbling, all that, not one tear. Wow. Hold on, let me run it back. Let me see. Where young dog talking at? Right. No, that was in the last video. But when he telling this story right here, all them fake tears, Listen, none of the truth reached his eyes. One thing about truth, right? It telling the eyes. You dig what I'm saying? So, and then you can't know that you part and parcel to this, and you really trying to pawn this stuff off on somebody else, and knowing that you caused this, right? And then get up there and sit there and try to blame somebody with a straight face and still try to be emotional, right? That's really a woman thing. They can do that. But even then, you gotta fake, right? So it never comes across real. Right? And that's the same thing I picked up on when the young boy was telling his story right here, the other twin. It came off as fake. And that's just being real. You dig what I'm talking about? I'm a street dude. You wasn't gonna never, run some games, spin me in circles. I know when you cap it. It just feels wrong. And every time he was talking, he was feeling wrong. And one thing I know, all that fake boo-hoo crying, neither the mama nor him shed one real tear, one wet one. All that, all that. Not one tear. I be watching the body language sometimes. You gotta watch people. You dig what I'm talking about? They we got little ticks and stuff and little things that we do unconsciously. And if you got a sharp enough eye, you can pick up on that, right? Even while they lying straight to your face.
Guilt. You can see the shock, and it's eating his ass alive.
Fact.
I'm telling you, the game is cold.
Yep.
And I told y'all in the title, I blame the parents. And this dude said it starts at home. Their dad said it starts at home. Dude, you look and sound like you have anger issues. How you saying it starts at home when you are not even with their mother? Make it make sense.
Checkmate.
So in my opinion, the split in your home caused your boys, caused your twins to grow up and be bullies, caused your twins to be on TikTok pretending to be black. Make it make sense. In just 4 days, this whole family has appeared in every news outlet. That tells me everything I need to know. And look, we already know the media is against us. That's why we have to create these YouTube videos to get the truth out. And look, I know right now a lot of racist Caucasians are upset because the tables have turned, but y'all will be okay. We as black people deal with this all the time, and no one says anything. For example, your doctors murder our black women while in labor on purpose, no outrage. Your police, your prison workers murder our black men while handcuffed on purpose, no outrage. Our young people are murdered in sundown towns on purpose, and everyone moves on like it never happened. No outrage. So trust me, y'all will be okay. And like I said earlier, I don't wish death on anyone because life is so beautiful. And I hate that Karmello and his family have to go through this because this is not easy. And this is very important. Tell your kids not to bully and put their hands on other people. Tell your kids not to smash other people's phones. Tell your kids not to let the rap music, the trap music on TikTok control your actions. So like I said, free Karmello Anthony. And I send all my love to his family. I'm out.
All right, I gotta show you this other thing too. Let me show you this other thing.
I think people sleep at night. It's not because they have a big house. I think because they feel secure. Dolak is providing that.
I gotta show you this one thing first, and then I gotta show you what the family had to say, right?
Yeah, I was at a track meet, by the way, on Tuesday. This is not something you think could ever happen. How did it happen?
So it was a really bad storm in the morning, and they had a lot of delays. And me and my brother, a couple of kids were walking back from the field house of the middle school because he attended that middle school when we went to middle school, and we were saying a whole lot of stuff, old coaches and catching up with them. And then we're walking back to our stand. We put our tent up so all the bleachers were right there. Were not wet from all the rain. We come back, we sit down, and this kid says something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life. I never knew who he was. Said something just inappropriate and uncalled for. And I turned around and asked him who he was. He started being really aggressive. My brother stepped in. He started being, how he always is with his brothers, just having my back. And things started getting more higher intensity. And the kid said some aggressive stuff, reckless stuff, and also trying to handle the problem. And,
yeah. Austin was always one to step up. He always was one to step up and be the person that would do the right thing. And he was doing the right thing by saying to this gentleman that you're not supposed to be in this tent. This is because they have personal items there.
A lot of stuff gets stolen, just like that, just precautions and stuff. And our church has always told us don't let, other schools, mess with our stuff, just in our tent area. And we set that up for the girls' track every meet we had. So it's just he knew he wasn't supposed to be there. And it's just a tragedy what happened.
And then what happened, Austin? After your brother stepped up, what happened then?
He stepped up over there, asked him to move, got aggressive, he grabbed the bag, and then I whipped my head around, and then all of a sudden I see
telling him what to say, what not to say.
Grabbing his chest.
I know I'm going to
rushing out. He said, you got stabbed. First I froze for half a second. I didn't know what to do. And then I saw him about to fall. I would go over there. I grabbed him. I see.
Not one tear. Look.
Yeah, I understand. Best.
And look, like I said yesterday, rest in peace to that young man. But on this channel, we hold racist Caucasian people accountable. So you telling me the day after the incident, you go on Fox News and tell one version of the story. But the day of the incident, you went on ABC and told a whole different version of the story. Make it make sense. And then you have to sit back and ask yourself, why are these people so eager to tell their side of the story? I mean, you don't see Karmello's family on TV saying anything. Why the news not talking to them? Make it make sense. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the bullies have to be first to tell their side of the story. The bullies have to control the narrative first. And if you pay attention, ABC and Fox News was coaching this young man to tell his story because he can't lie for shit. And when has news outlets became the courtroom? Make it make sense. And then I said, wait, you had media outlets posting negative pictures of Karmello Anthony. Even had these type of black people posting those same negative pictures. And like I always tell y'all, in our community, we have some people, our people, they don't like themselves. Our people, they don't like their people. It is what it is. But when it comes to me, I'm riding for my people 100%. But I noticed something. None of them shared this picture of the twins. And how ironic that this is the Instagram page of Austin Metcalf. Let's read it. He said, I dare one of these to show up to the track meet today. It got 667 likes. Make that make sense. Why nobody posted that? Why nobody talking about this? Why is everybody acting like these twins were angels? So now do y'all see the games that the media loves to play when it comes against our people? But this stuff ain't new. Malcolm X been telling us what was going on. Check this out. If you're not careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppressing. So again, this is why I love social media, because we can finally call out the BS and we can finally stand together. And like I told y'all earlier, we have a lot of amongst us, but don't even worry about them. They are not a threat. They love massa. And see,
Well, folks, the day we've been waiting on has finally come. National Concealed Carry Reciprocity.
they love to paint these Caucasian demons in the perfect light, like they were angels. When everybody else said these twins were known for bullying people, were known for terrorizing people. So I said, wait, let me find something great that Karmello Anthony did for his people. Check this out. And shout out to Ray Young Carter. She said, my heart is shattered. I kept saying the young man looks like the Karmello who saved Gino's life, which is her son. From the looks of the article, and it's him. And we forever gonna stand with you. May 15, 2021, a day I'll never.
You're trying to pay Karmello to be this bad guy, but look what Karmello was really doing. Watch, y'all. Watch.
Forget. Really great kid. I can't stand bullies. So I said, wait, did Karmello Anthony save a kid's life? Check this out. And if you think I'm lying, here's the article. The water was cloudy and the pool divided into indoor and outdoor sections. Unable to find Gino, Carter asked Karmello Anthony, 14 of Baton Rouge, to check in a blind spot. He came back from out of the water with my son in his arms, Carter said. Gino, whose lungs had collapsed, was admitted to the intensive care unit and placed on a ventilator. The following Wednesday, he was off the vent and starting physical therapy. He recovered quickly and is now back home. Turner called Anthony the real hero for rescuing Gino. And look, I'm going to put the article back up. But I didn't know he was from Louisiana. See, it all makes sense. From Louisiana, we're not letting anyone bully us. We go stand on business. So it all makes sense. And see, they won't show you this article. They won't show you that he's saved a life at 14 years old, not even thinking twice, but they don't have no problem showing you him holding up a fake gun at 16, 17 years old, him sticking up a middle finger at 17 years old. Bro, we all was 16 and 17 years old. If you go back and post some of the pictures that we took at 16 and 17 years old, all of us will be judged. Make it make sense. And in the comment section, I want y'all to let me know, do y'all notice this? Every time something racist happens towards our people, they gaslight us. Oh, this is not racism. This has nothing to do with black and white. What? See, I'm telling you, these people think we dumb. They think we slow. They think we don't see what it really is. And look, I'm going to keep it 100. I don't care how much gaslighting y'all do towards our people. When you harm our people, we go speak on it. I don't care what you say, because when it's black people, y'all don't mind talking about that. Y'all don't mind making money from black on black crime. Y'all love it. Y'all love those topics. So keep that same energy when you come to my channel, because we let nothing slide. To my people, I'm going to leave the link to the GoFundMe account in my description. This family needs our support. This family needs the best lawyers. So go donate. We got. But before I go, where the black pastors at? Marvin Sapp, he asked for $40,000. He has a church in Fort Worth, Texas. He hasn't said anything about this story. T.D. Jakes, he has a church in Dallas, Texas. He hasn't said anything about this story. Kirk Franklin, he's from Fort Worth, Texas. He hasn't said anything about this story. I'm tired of these fake ass pastors just getting up there for money, but with some real shit going on in our community. YouTubers have to talk about it. YouTubers have to stand on business. So forget them. Even these celebrities, these fake ass celebrities, they haven't said anything. They haven't shown any support. They haven't donated any money, any large amount of money to help the community. So forget these fake ass celebrities. Also, if you want to ask me, all of them are part of the CIA. And if you really want to think about it, it's not just Frisco, Texas. We can go to Amarillo, Texas. And I'm going to leave y'all with a short clip after this video. But a few months ago, Felita Bailey, 25 years old, was murdered by a young Caucasian.
How many of y'all knew this? I never even heard of this story before. Never even heard of this story. She's pretty too. She's so pretty. Rise and power, sister. They took this sister life. Watch this. Let's go back.
Amarillo, Texas. And I'm going to leave y'all with a short clip after this video. But a few months ago, Felita Bailey, 25 years old, was murdered by a young Caucasian man. And the police found all the evidence. They had video footage. They had witnesses. And guess what? They still set him free. So where's the outrage for her mother? Where's the justice for her mother? Did anyone care about her mother? Tears? Nobody cares. So yeah, free Karmello Anthony. And I'm glad you stood on business to protect yourself. I'm hurt that you have to go through this in their racist ass town, but we won't forget you. We won't stop fighting. I'm out.
Amarillo Police Department is still investigating a homicide that occurred during a Labor Day weekend after party. The family of the victim, Felita Bailey, wants justice and answers. ABC 7's Reagan Lopez has that story.
My daughter will be 26. She would have been 26 October 26th of this year.
According to police, officers responded after a fight started that spilled into the street where shots were fired. Felita Bailey and another victim were taken to the hospital where Felita died.
She's been her last mom is fighting. Men.
The first and only known suspect, 22-year-old Dylan Black, was arrested and charged with murder, but was later released due to insufficient evidence. When we spoke with APD Homicide Unit Commander Lieutenant Clements on September 9th, he said they're still waiting on ballistics.
But we want to make sure that we know exactly what happened on that scene 100% before we charge anybody with any kind of a charge there.
Clements said there are new leads, but the case is still an ongoing investigation, and not much can be shared. Nearly a month later, and no other arrests have been made.
I just refuse to let my daughter case go unsolved. That's just not going to happen. I'll fight. I can't even grieve because I have to fight. This is my only child.
The family of Felita Bailey asked witnesses to come forward with any information that might lead to an arrest. In Amarillo, Reagan Lopez, ABC 7 News.
Crazy.
Once you click this video, you'll be taken to.
That's crazy. See, I didn't know about that story. That's the first time me hearing that. But watch this. Because this was, I think this is the one where
you've earned it.
Yeah, this is the one where the family
ourselves. You can walk around with a brass on the other foot.
Let's cook.
Kyle Rittenhouse and so many other people. But when the shoe is on the other foot.
Okay, well, the 75 people they say they interviewed, did they say anything about a video was
Yes,
recorded?
they have collected video.
So it is video of the incident.
Yes, they have collected video. It is crazy that America tells us to accept the self-defense claim of George Zimmerman, Kyle Rittenhouse, and so many other people. But when the shoe is on the other foot, that claim is absurd. And I just gotta call a spade a spade. No matter what my personal views of a case may be, it is quite contradicting for America to come back and say, oh, Kyle Rittenhouse can have it. George Zimmerman can have it. All of these individuals that don't look like the color of my skin can't have it. In the state of Texas, we live in a state where yet you can walk around with a permitless carry. You can walk around with a brass knuckles. You can walk around with a knife. You can walk around with all these things. AK-47 in the state of Texas. And then as soon as you see a black person exercise those rights, we now have a problem. And that's not me spitting hate or race or bigotry. That's the facts.
Oh man, so despite the wishes from Austin Metcalf's father's tensions continue to rise on social media after the Texas team Karmello Anthony's defense fund is nearing $300,000. Okay, now people are donating so that he can get the best representation as he's facing first-degree murder charges after an altercation at a track meet ended with 17-year-old Austin Metcalf losing his life. Now, in response to this report, people are bashing the black community and attempting to flag and report the campaign so they can end this shit. Now, in response to that, they're being called hypocrites because folks like Daniel Penny and Kyle Rittenhouse received similar support. Even goddamn Luigi Mangione got the same love, and we all know that he killed the healthcare dude in cold blood. So this is crazy. Now, what you heard at the beginning of the video was the representative from the Next Generation organization that's representing the Karmello Anthony family. All right, now the homie comes and debunks several things, such as whether Karmello and the Metcalf brothers knew each other before the incident, and he also said that there is videos that the police officers have of the altercation. All right, hold on tight to that. Let's get to these things first, and we'll get to that interview. So as of now, this is where the fund stands for Karmello Anthony. $300,000 goal, and is at $246,000 and rapidly growing. Okay, it's going crazy. Every single minute, people are showing support to the young man for a situation, and it's interesting seeing the reaction, especially with what we've seen before. Now, this whole thing from the black community is a response. People that are shaming the black community cannot be upset because they're just doing what they've seen done before. No situation is exactly the same, none. But still in a situation where they thought that people were obviously going to be found guilty for what they've done, such as Kyle Rittenhouse or Daniel Penny. They see, oh, even if you do kill someone, if you have an argument for self-defense, it's a possibility that you can get off. So seeing that, in response, people are saying it's a possibility that he can get off if he has good representation. Now, and also with those people having their own campaigns funded for their defenses, Karmello Anthony supporters are following the same trend, the same process, and starting their Give, Sing, Go campaigns to help his defense. But nevertheless, you have someone like this right here that's trying to take down the campaign. She's trying to claim fraud and foul all she can to stop this shit. And this is after them stopping plenty of GoFundMe campaigns. Now, GoFundMe does have strict rules to stop any type of support for anyone's defense in any case such as this one right here. This one right here, you cannot use GoFundMe, okay? But Give, Sing, Go, we've seen people use this to gather money for someone's defense before. Don't change it up now. You got dudes like Buddy right here going on.
Damn, what the hell is wrong with them? Say strong, young man, Allah is with you?
I don't know who he is, though.
What do you mean he's with you?
This dude is going through the donations and reading them and chastising them on his platform. This is crazy, all right? This dude right here says black people will raise money for murderers. While just ignoring the situation in the past that I just explained before. George Zimmerman raised just over $200K online, lawyers say. We seen Luigi's situation on camera. That man almost at $1 million, boy. Daniel Penny, $3.3 million. And don't forget to go to Child Rittenhouse. He got some good bread, you know, in support for him. It was crazy support, bro. The least folks could do is just mind their business as people are trying to make sure the kid has representation. That's his right. And you guys have done it in other situations. You guys have been seen supporting it in other circumstances when a kid doesn't look like me. The same guy they share showing love to Rittenhouse. I don't know, man. Maybe they're just surprised that black folks will come together and organize and pool their money for a simple cause. Maybe that's a thing. I don't get it, but maybe that's a thing. And there's a great chance that it's more than just black people supporting
supporting the young man as he's going through the situation. Okay, now here's my personal opinion on what's going on so far. I've read more in this case and I've seen a full arrest report. Okay, there's still conflicting stories. I'm going to flash some witnesses' testimonies on the screen, but in summary, dog, as I'm factoring in all the accounts that was told, yes, it was raining. Karmello eventually stopped under the Memorial High School tent to sit down, and yes, Karmello did have a friend under that team's tent, which was confirmed by a witness. Now, once again, corroborated by witness testimonies, Austin Metcalf was the initiator of the verbal altercation, and Austin Metcalf was the aggressor in the physical altercation, which is confirmed by a witness. Okay, Austin pushed Karmello to get him outside of the tent. Okay, now after Austin pushed Karmello is when Karmello then went to retrieve his weapon. Now, here's where things get tricky. One witness said Mello made verbal warnings, but that witness also left out Austin pushing Karmello. But nevertheless, I'm thinking that after the push is when the warnings from Karmello started to begin. That's me speculating because it was at this point that Karmello finally retrieved the knife. Now, Austin once again attempted to engage with Karmello, and that's when he was stabbed in the chest. And I personally wish he didn't stab him. I wish he would just smack fire out of Austin for pushing him. That's what I would have wanted to happen. But another perspective is that Karmello is under another team stand, and although he does have a friend there, he is outnumbered. So he may be in fear of getting jumped after throwing hands with Austin, and Austin's twin already admitted that he was also talking trash to Karmello. So Karmello honestly was well within his rights to defend himself, but to what degree? That's the big thing here. That's what the jury and the judge has to decide on. But to what degree was he within his rights to defend himself? None of the stuff matters about the tanning shed, whether he was able to sit there or not. He was within his rights to be whatever he wanted to be. He was chilling with his friends. And this is not far-fetched at all at a track meet for someone to go another person's tent for a good second, say hi, vibe for a second, and then move and roll out. This whole entire argument was started by some petty ass shit that was 100% avoidable. So once again, what it's always going to boil down to is whether the jury believes Karmello escalated things too far with the knife. All right. Now, in regard to the human aspect of
first things, premeditated.
God rest Austin's soul, but bro, you're pushing the dude. Then he goes into his backpack.
Even if so, that's not first degree murder, right? They might try to come with also a manslaughter charge. You dig what I'm talking about? And the DA does this normally. You dig what I'm talking about? To try to cover their ass and cover all the bases. So if he can get you on one thing, he'll try to get you, even though it's the boy's fault that he put his hands on Karmello, told him don't do it again. Then he found out. You know what I mean? It's a shame. You dig what I'm saying? I wish the young boy could have, got his way up out of that. You dig what I'm saying? But that's not even a good situation. 6'2", 220 plus boys on your head. You 5'8", 130. That could be a deadly outcome. You know what I mean? They just as easily could have killed him. So, it's not good, right? But this isn't premeditated murder. First degree, no. Could it be manslaughter? They're gonna charge him anyway. But they're gonna have to prove that. Because it's self-defense. He was defending himself.
I can dare you to touch him. Bruh, he obviously just grabbed a weapon. The moment anybody goes into a backpack, a trunk, a glove department, dude, the fight is over, my boy. Keep it pushing. You got to say, you got it, and then keep it moving. You don't continue to try to fight a dude after that warning, bro. That's a death wish. And I know he gone, but I'm talking to you. You watching this video right now, I'm talking to you. Hopefully you know better. Hopefully you know better, but you don't do that. That young man would still be here today if he simply just said, "You got it, you got it." Now I could see if it was all one fluid action, like they fighting. The next thing you know, he just gets stabbed. No, but it seemed like they had a time and had a chance to pause, allow him to consider this, and the young fella chose to assert his dominance, and that ended up being the worst decision. Nevertheless, but
I want to start off by saying real quick that my comments are represented today by the Next Generation Action Network that have been working with the Anthony family from the advocacy standpoint. I'm not the Anthony family attorney. Of course, you know the Next Generation Action Network is no stranger to this line of work. And we have been representing families for the last 10 years from an advocacy standpoint to get to the bottom of this situation.
Share the live.
The Next Generation Action Network, since the last past week, have gotten thousands of calls regarding the situation and making sure that our organization was involved in this situation because of the growing tension of racism and bigotry involving with the case.
Exactly like I told y'all, everything that's going on online by the Black community is in response to what's been going on by some race baiters. I'm not saying by white people, because it's Black people that's doing it too. But it's a response to race baiters that then begin to demean Karmello and then use this as an overarching reason to shame Black people and Black culture, quote unquote.
I failed in everything I set out to do.
The Anthony family cannot leave their home because of the growing threats towards their safety.
Listen.
Their personal address has been exposed. They have received graphic and racist threats. They are being targeted with violence, and simply because their child is in the center of this tragedy. Our heart goes out to the family of Austin Metcalf, but we do not raise the right of the Anthony family to be protected and heard and treated with dignity. That's why today we spoke with the Frisco Police Department leadership to demand answers. Today in this meeting, we talked about and was able to give them graphic images of what this family has had to deal with for the last couple of days. It is sad. We have saw the police chief, a statement being sent out by the police chief that was false. We have saw a false autopsy report that was false. We have to caution the community to say, hey, we cannot trust everything that is online. The disinformation that is going online is hurting this case, and it has to stop. It has to stop, y'all. As we know it right now, Austin Metcalf and Karmello Anthony did not know each other. They did not know each other. Let's stop it. They were not at a party together. Let's stop the lies regarding this situation.
So that is in response to the story that I never reported on, but I heard it. So guys may be wondering why I never said anything about the past bullying altercation between them two. I never seen anything to confirm that. So this right here is in reaction to that. And that was coming from Black people that were pushing a narrative that there were bullies before, and that's the reason why it was smoke when they seen them today. I didn't feel comfortable sharing that, and that's why I used discretion. and did not report on it. So people that may think, I know, let me not do this, because I did see a lot of people that was in my comment section saying that thank you for being as fair as possible, even though I have my opinion, but being as fair as possible while covering the situation. So that was something that was going on online. It wasn't true.
We also know that both Austin Metcalf, the twin brothers, were on the roster that day to be at that track meet. We also know that Karmello Anthony was on the roster that day to be at that track meet.
So that goes towards the narrative about Carmello Anthony skipping. Someone just told me probably like an hour ago when asked me about this case, oh, I heard he was skipping.
Even we heard that.
Not true. That's not true.
Even we heard that.
We know they both arrived, all of them arrived to this facility via the transportation of Frisco ISD. The lies has to stop, y'all. As far as the legal strategy, I'm not talking about that today because that's not my place. I'm not the lawyer. I think you guys have all had a statement in regards that the lawyers have asked for a bond reduction, and they will release that in the way.
You raised serious questions about their
Milestone, that's exactly what's going on. Right? This is why I had to speak on it. It's exactly race baiting. Boy, I hope this boy Karmello beat this.
And fairness of the investigation, saying that you guys have spoken to coaches and other people that witnessed it and that they didn't follow up with them. Were you able to have that conversation with the assistant chief and all that?
I was able to have that questioning, and we were able to give those individual names up because the Next Generation Action Network do not want to interfere in the investigation. We're not going to release who they are, but we were able to have that conversation today. You know what I mean? That's what prompted them to even be able to come in. And also, we not only talked about people who were speaking out like that had information regarding the case. We also reported people in official capacity, like people who are teachers, government officials that have used their own personal social media to placate in the hate and the false narratives that are coming out against Karmello Anthony. And we were able to report that information to them regarding it.
Do you stand by that though, that did they acknowledge that some witnesses have not been contacted by police, or were you
To be exact, Frisco Police Department was able to tell me that they have interviewed over 75 people, and it's ongoing. But they did acknowledge that there are people who have not been interviewed in regards to this case. They are aware of that. That wasn't, you know what I mean, like based on the information that we were getting, it was very hard for us to be able to, see what this investigation was going and how it was being together, because we didn't know what to trust. But we had to make sure that we get involved in this situation early so that we can ensure that this investigation is fair and unbiased.
Okay, with the 75 people they say they interviewed, did they say anything about video was?
Yes, they have collected video.
So it is video of the incident?
Yes, they have collected video.
Oh.
There is video of the actual stabbing?
There's video, there are several different video that they verified.
What do we know that has been debunked? As far as like a cell phone getting broke, do we know that? Do we know about
I didn't ask about pretty much a cell phone. What I can tell you is on the surface of being debunked is the fact that they did not know each other. There wasn't no, and I want to say this because there is a particular blogger that's getting a lot of views, and it's very detrimental the audience that they're getting, right? And that's the only reason why I justify in saying this on this press conference, because of the type of information that Austin Metcalf and Karmello Anthony had a fight the day before or a week before, or at this point, there is nobody.
Both were on roster.
There's nothing at this time that support that they knew each other. Okay, you know what I mean? They are both athletes in the same school district. Of course, they probably know of each other, but they do not know each other, right? And so that's a lot. Like the pictures, and I believe there was a picture that went on social media saying that this is Austin Metcalf and Karmello, and that is a lie. So that's a false narrative.
Why did this young man have a gun? Excuse me. Why did this young man have a knife on him?
I cannot speak to that. I cannot speak to that in regards to that. I can't speak to that because I believe that, first of all, even if I had the answer to that or whatever, I wouldn't say it, because that's a part of his defense. And I think there's going to be an appropriate time where they're going to speak to what was going on. What I can do is reiterate that Karmello Anthony, from the beginning, has continued to display his self-defense claim. And I believe that in America, I always tell this, and I'm just going to speak truth to power. And it's
before this go too far, I'm gonna let this play out, but then I'm gonna come back later and I'm gonna do a second part to this because I want to break down the police report. The police report came in, it's been broke down. I want to show the breakdown on that. You dig what I'm talking about? So after this one, we just gonna go and get up out of here, man. And I ain't gonna keep y'all too long in the morning, but I wanted to make y'all aware of this. Many people weren't wearing, and I was just watching it. I didn't see nobody really bringing it up. So I wanted to make y'all aware of this. You know what I mean? This is deep, man. This is crazy. You dig what I'm talking about? But we got to be aware. So we just going to keep cooking.
Situation. It is crazy that America tells us to accept the self-defense claim of George Zimmerman, Kyle Rittenhouse, and so many other people. But when the shoe is on the other foot, that claim is absurd. And I just got to call a spade a spade. No matter what my personal views of a case may be, it is quite contradictory for America to come back and say, oh, Kyle Rittenhouse can have it. George Zimmerman can have it. All of these individuals that don't look like the color of my skin can't have it. In the state of Texas, we live in a state where yet you can walk around with a permitless carry. You can walk around with a brass knuckles. You can walk around with a knife. You can walk around with all these things. AK-47 in these state of Texas. And then as soon as you see a black person exercise those rights, we now have a problem. And that's not me spitting hate or race or bigotry. That's the facts. And like I put the statement, what we're not going to do after 400 years of oppression of black people in America is yet justify ourselves every time a situation comes up with one of our children We want them to have those same rights that everybody else. We want him to have his same day in court as Cal Rittenhouse. We want him to have his same day in court like anybody else. And he will have that. And he will put up the proper defense. And all of these questions will be answered. But the unfairness in this case
Now, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. All right, it's heavy in the morning. You dig what I'm talking about? And I didn't wanna put that on y'all like that. You dig what I'm talking about? But I had to make you aware. With that being said, I'm gonna get up out of here, y'all. Love, life, balance, man. All right. 1.